Good morning. I'm Diane Tiscano, and that's spelled Toscano. I'm the founder of Tiscano Law Group. A little bit about my firm. We are based in Virginia Beach, and the focus is criminal and federal, state and federal criminal defense, as well as civil litigation and Title IX cases. I do want to acknowledge Jana Natterman, who is an attorney with my firm. She is a former Title IX deputy coordinator, and she's been working with me side by side on this case. So I'm a former prosecutor turned defense attorney, and I've been litigating cases in this community for 15 years. In a moment, I will introduce you to Shawn Fahey, and that's spelled F-A-H-E-Y, who is seated next to me. Shawn will tell his story, and then I will close with some brief remarks. These are traumatizing events that are difficult to speak about, and I admire Shawn's courage as a victim to come forward and speak out publicly. And due to the sensitive nature of these allegations, Shawn will not be taking any questions. I will take a few questions at the end. So Shawn is a former football player at Norfolk State University. He was on the team briefly this past year as a freshman. He's from Virginia Beach and played football at Ocean Lakes High School before accepting a scholarship to Norfolk State University over other scholarship offers to play football. Now Shawn will make some brief remarks.
The pressures of going to a Division I college as a student athlete are immense. For me, I felt the pressure to make the best use of the full scholarship, make the right college choice, and get off to a good start in class and on the football field. I wanted to make my family and the coaches who supported me and helped me prepare for this next step proud. Being a local from Virginia Beach, one of the reasons for choosing Norfolk State University over 2 other scholarship offers was to eliminate some of the pressures of moving to a new, unfamiliar place to help smooth the transition to the college. Unfortunately, this backfired. While I will not go into detail today about the things that happened to me at NSU, I will say that I was sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, and hazed by members of the Norfolk State football team. Whenever these incidents occurred, I try to brush them off because it's not typical for guys to have to talk about this kind of stuff. I thought to myself, is this how they do things around here? Here I was, a brand new freshman facing upper class football players who were bigger than me and probably stronger. I was outnumbered by the harassers and those who let it happen. And frankly, I didn't know what these people I just recently met were capable of. I worried about having to defend myself physically from players who already had assaulted me. The bottom line was I feared for my safety. I knew I didn't want to continue playing at Norfolk State surrounded by an unsafe environment. When I finally broke down, I called my mom and explained what was going on, asked her to come pick me up. Even though I was a victim, I was embarrassed by what happened. I initially made excuses for their behavior. Instead of NSU handling these incidents with compassion for me, I was baited by the coaches to rejoin the next day as if nothing ever happened. I was told by coaches I was risking my career. Then Norfolk State made my pain worse by sharing sensitive information about the situation to the whole team. Ever playing again for Norfolk State University was out of the question. It is sad for me to admit this, but what a terrible decision it ended up being for me to put my faith and safety in Norfolk State when I accepted that football scholarship over others. I dedicated half my life to the sport of football. I sacrificed my body and a lot of time to earn a Division I scholarship offers. And like most of us who reached that level, I had even bigger dreams when it came to football. But the reality is I was forced to choose between my desire to compete and putting myself at risk. Stepping away from football has been a major disappointment and a setback. I am now uncertain and anxious about my future. I constantly replay the thought in my head that if none of these terrible things happened to me, then I would be part of the team playing the game I love with the teammates who were supposed to be like brothers. In closing, the reason I am here today is to convey a simple message. If you are a student athlete, you have been sexually assaulted, harassed, or hazed, it is okay and you are not alone. There are people who will listen to you, believe you, and act in your best interest. Tell a parent, former coach, a Title IX coordinator at your college, or even a doctor or lawyer. There are people who will listen to you. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't deserve to be violated just to be on a team or part of a group. All the toughness that helped you get to the college level in the first place will get you through this moment too. There is nothing more important than your self-worth. And if you see something like this happen to others, please speak up. Thank you.
Thank you, Shawn. Let me be clear. I have heard from other student athletes who have reported similar experiences at NSU during this same time period. Some of the coaches knew of these problems because the incidents happened right under their nose. Players were allowed to grab others' genitals in front of coaches. Instead of prioritizing the safety of individual players by reporting these outrageous behaviors or disciplining the offenders, coaches simply and unconscionably warned one player, quote, "It will catch up with you." Upperclassmen held down and dry humped freshman players from behind. One video recording that we have depicts this on a bed while others watched. The list of shocking behavior goes on. NSU leaders must be questioned about what they did to ensure the safety of student athletes, and they must be held accountable. As evidence shows, there are coaches that were aware they inherited these problems from the previous staff. We're asking for witnesses to come forward, which can be done confidentially by contacting my law firm, to help expose the full extent of the sexual assault, sexual harassment, and hazing problems at NSU. I believe there may be other victims who have reservations about coming forward, and I hope Shawn's words today bring some level of comfort to them. I want them to know that what happened is unacceptable, and people will be held responsible. I'll make sure of that. Finally, to raise awareness of the larger problem of sexual assault and hazing in U.S. football, I co-founded a 501c3 nonprofit organization called Goal Line Stand Together, and we launched the website today at goallinestandtogether.com. I believe we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg when it comes to sexual assault and hazing in U.S. football. And with this new organization, I wanted to create a platform to begin a national dialogue about a taboo subject which is critical to the health of our nation's boys and young men. Thank you for coming today. As I said, Shawn will not be taking any questions, but I will entertain just a few questions at this time.
Can you tell us how to spell Shawn's first name?
Yes, S-H-A-W-N.
When were you first made aware of the allegations?
I've been aware of these allegations, but right now we're looking at what legal options we have. I will say NSU has been aware of this issue for 10 months, and I'm very disappointed in their approach, their reaction, and how they've handled the situation to date.
So why speak up now?
Shawn wants to share his story. He feels this is important to share with others and make people aware of this issue that's existing, and he has a right to share his story.
Do you know how many, you said there's other players you've heard from as well, do you know how many possibly that you've heard from?
So at this time, is anyone else, I'm only gonna take like another question, I appreciate all your questions. Is there anyone else that had one more question? Yes.
Just wanted to double check, you said F-A-H-E-Y?
Yes,
And
F-A-H-E.
the website that you mentioned, please?
So it's gonna be goallinestandtogether.com, and it's all those words, GOALLINESTANDTOGETHER.com.
Thank you.
Question, have you been able to, kind of going off of this, have you been able to make contact with any other, just asking for witnesses, any other players, any other witnesses to the allegations that you have?
So at this time, I'm not gonna answer any more of those questions about that, but we are exploring our legal options, and I've been able to share some specifics with you today.
And that was my follow-up question, you said you're exploring your legal options, any indication on what is coming next? Obviously, you know.
You will know more in just a few weeks. So thank you, I appreciate it.